Welcome to the demo of my AWS Security MCP Server. So as you can see, we have added a sample query, sample prompt, and we have added multiple rules. And the entire task of this particular activity is to perform a UEBA on a specific username called user test. And we want to perform a user behavior analytics on 25th of July for this particular user. As you can see, we have added multiple rule sets for basically giving it the right set of process how it can perform investigations properly and utilize the correct set of way and the sequential way of performing investigation. So as you can see, it has strategized how to perform it. So first, it is actually utilizing the connected AWS accounts tool from the MCP server to figure out what all AWS accounts are we currently connected to. As you can see, we are connected to three AWS accounts. And the default one is also actually added, which is the security account, and that is the place where Athena is configured. And it's now kind of figuring out the table schema of the cloud tilt so that all the queries that it generates post this particular plant, it utilizes the correct table schema. And now that it has figured out the table schema, it's strategizing the entire plan of investigation utilizing sequential thinking for the particular user level or user test. So as you can see, this is the plan. The sequential thinking has started planning out. So let's see how it performs. Okay, now it has completely strategized the entire plan of the investigation. As you can see, it has plotted out the validation query and it's kind of running a sample query on Athena so that it validates the entire query logic that it is utilizing. And we have given it a rule so that saying that you can only run sample queries and limit of 5 so that the data that we're getting is correct. The validation happens properly and all. So as you can see, it has started running validation queries and it has successfully completed it. And now it's running the comprehensive query to get all the events specific to July 25th or the user link. I think you can see how the queries are running on Athena. Let's just give it some time. It will run properly. Let it run properly. All right. As you can see, the report has been generated, and the report kind of mentions the entire report or activity of this user. It had mixed behavioral patterns, normal operation activities, plus concerning security activities in events as well. It did like an 62 total assume role calls, one with SAML, one with normal assume role. And it's very and pretty cool that it figured out that role usage, chaining, and everything that right. It used SSO role and then utilized the task role to assume. And these are the IP address that it was utilizing. And this is the entire activity timeline that particular user had. So you can see it did a SAML authentication and then uh, yeah, like it has a activity post, multiple access denied, console attempts, cross account setups, and all those kind of things, right? Which is pretty unique that when you are actually trying to perform this level of investigations manually, creating these hypotheses is very, very difficult. And that is where this MCP server actually comes into the picture and helps you validate those hypotheses, right? So you can see the entire report. It says rapid cross account enumeration, failed access persistent, continued attempts despite access denials, heavy SDK usage utilize basically suggesting that it's an automated security scan, and it also utilizes some invalid Athena buckets. Yeah, so as you can see, the entire report has been created, and now we are moving to the next phase where we have went back to the security team and asked that has anybody created this username user test, and the security team mentions that the team has actually deployed a new tool, the tool that is present on the screen. And they basically wanted now the detection team just wanted to confirm that whether or not all the activity are actually legitimate or not, or any suspicious activities are present or not. So let's just see if Claude is able to actually, verify and figure out information and then correlate with logs, which is the most interesting part. So if you can see, it has already probed to the GitHub repository and it's understanding the README documents and all those things. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are pretty use cases, right? I mean, a lot of team members kind of deploy different type of tools across their infrastructure, and most of the time, protection teams have a hard time figuring out what is going on, and they sometimes get a lot of alerts that way, right? So, I think this is a pretty interesting use case where detection teams or cloud and security engineering teams can figure out who deployed what. And as you can see, we kind of generated legitimate and illegitimate API calls from this particular user so that we can demonstrate how it works. So as you can see, it tried to do multiple web console attempts as well, and it also figured out there's an incorrect Athena configurations, and it utilizes different session names. The tool uses this session name, and but also found Saransh Rana gmail.com session name. So that's pretty suspicious, right? And that is the interesting part where it's kind of being able to, identify that particular difference between the legitimate and the illegitimate use case of a particular automated tool that you're running. And yeah, that is all. I hope you have fun.